What is up, everyone? Welcome to the week 4 matchup live stream here at fantasypoints.com. I am John Hansen. We've got Greg Cosell. We've got Adam Kaplan. We've got our guy Ben Kukanis on the other side of the glass. Not even going to ask the guys how they're doing. I know they're doing wonderfully. Let's get into tonight's football game. The Bengals are hosting the Jaguars. Adam, we'll start with the injuries here. No Awuzie, right, for the Bengals. Also T. Higgins.
Bates, that's the big one. Jesse Bates, that's a big one.
Yeah, the safety.
Yep.
And also for the Jaguars, really nothing of note here. Greg, you did see Burrow on tape last week. Let's get your thoughts. How did he pass that eyeball test? How is he moving? How is he throwing it? Does he look confident in that knee? And how is he playing?
He was good. We're good.
All right, move on.
No, I think that he's a fun guy to watch. I enjoy watching him because there's a sense of refinement, of ease to his game. He understands what he's looking at. He can eliminate what's not there and isolate what is there. He has an innate sense of what open means in the NFL, which a lot of young quarterbacks don't have. And they do have weapons. I know T. Higgins was out, and he's out again tonight, but they've got good weapons. They played Auden Tate last week. Auden Tate is a big kid with talent. He's not as good as Higgins, but he's similar stylistically. And Boyd is really good in the slot. And we know we don't need to spend a lot of time talking about Jamar Chase.
We were talking about they were going empty a lot last week, and
they did go empty a lot last week,
and how that can help a quarterback, define things for a quarterback when you put a guy like Mixon.
Well, it does
out
two
wide.
things. I mean, and a coach might say it does more than two. I'm just telling you that for our purposes, it does force the defense to show its hand more so than if you have tighter formations. But two, it gives you some predictability of coverage because teams don't play all their different coverages to empty because they have to and they can't disguise as much because they have to make sure they cover the field. So there's a predictability of coverage that based on your opponent. So I can't say what the Jaguars play versus empty. I haven't done a deep dive into their defense in their first 3 games, but I guarantee if they go empty tonight, they're going to know what coverage they're getting.
Yeah. How much of an advantage is it with a guy like Burrow when you have like that great brain? I think that's an element that people don't really think about.
I don't have one of those. You'd have to ask Adam about it.
I mean, neither do I.
Well, they tell you on Twitter you don't, so yeah.
I had one. It got worn down, though.
And they're absolutely going to tell me this week, Adam, because I said that Mahomes, as great as he is, needs to kind of settle down a little bit and get back to playing a little more within structure. So I'm going to be called every name under the sun this week.
Guess what? You're not the only person who's told me that. And you're right.
No kidding.
Nope.
No kidding. I'm not. You know why I'm not? Because the tape tells you that.
Yeah,
I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up.
No, that's so funny because they don't want to hear it. Yeah. They don't want to hear it. It's funny.
But a guy like Burrow, Greg, I mean, is he trending toward elite mental capabilities for a second-year player? Is he
elite's one of those words, John? I mean, it's overused, but I think that Burrow is a very smart quarterback with both academic awareness and innate awareness. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Adam, how about the Jags trading a former number 1 pick at corner?
They didn't want him. They didn't want him. They didn't believe in him. This staff, particularly Urban Meyer, who was personnel control, did not want CJ Henderson in any way, shape, or form, as I understand it. Wanted him off the roster. And it was not a secret to anyone who called the Jaguars. They wanted to trade him. That's not very good if you're the Panthers, but CJ Henderson was drafted in the first round for height, weight, and speed.
CJ Henderson has high level corner talent. I can't speak to what he is as a person.
Yeah, I would say, Greg, not everyone agrees with you. I'll leave it at that.
Right. You mean not everyone agrees that he has talent?
No, he has talent, but they do not see what the talent. They don't see him as a high level talent. They see him as a height, weight, speed guy who's gifted, but does not play up to those.
Well, that's what I mean.
Traits. Yeah.
I guess I should have said it differently. He's got traits. Talent
he does.
Traits
Yes,
can be viewed as different things, but he's got traits.
Yeah, he just doesn't play that way, unfortunately. No. And here's the problem, though. Carolina needs him. He's off the injury report. He had a groin injury with Horn done. So it's a shame for Carolina, but we'll talk about them later.
I know you haven't. I don't think you've seen much of Trevor Lawrence, Greg, the last week or two, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, I've seen him every week, but this one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what are you seeing? Because a lot of people are going to be watching tonight. Struggling a little bit. I think they're smart. They're getting James Robinson going now, so that's smart. I think the next stage would maybe get a little more Laviska Shenault, some more higher percentage plays. Seems like he's kind of looking for the big play a lot. What are you seeing with Lawrence this year?
Kind of what I expected. I think he's done some really good things. I think you see the talent and the traits. He makes some really good throws. My sense watching the tape, and only Lawrence could tell me this, but my sense watching the tape is that he needs to come to better terms with the speed of NFL secondaries, because you have to remember where he came from. He came from Clemson. Number one, he wasn't under pressure hardly at all. And number two, he threw a ton of screens. He threw a ton of relatively easy balls. Now, he made big time throws at Clemson down the field, but that wasn't really what they did often. And when I say what they did often, I'm talking about the kinds of throws you have to make in the NFL where you've got to throw in the middle of the field. The middle of the field tends to be the issue for a lot of younger quarterbacks, for the simple reason that
Bat phone.
Yeah, it is. It's actually Sal Palantonio.
Hey, Sal.
I'm going to text him in a second. I think he's where, it's the same with Zach Wilson. I think they're where I would expect them to be. And I don't know why people expect more. We can talk about, he may not play this week, and we can talk about Justin Fields, but he's calling me. Let me talk to Adam for a second.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Adam, how's your day going? No. I mean, Laviska Shenault seems like someone who could help out here. I mean, he hasn't gone over 50 yards in a game yet.
Yeah, but again, he's a certain type of player. He's not explosive. He's a physical slot. I mean, throw the ball over the middle, run after the catch guy. You got to remember when I said with Darrell Bevell, he's not the most imaginative play caller. Like, he doesn't.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
I don't think Shenault will ever be special with this play caller. Now, with a better play caller, he's got a better vision. Might be better. It's only 3 games, but I'm not real enthused with their team now. Without Bates tonight, people forget how good Jesse Bates is. He's a really good player.
By the way, I talked with Mike Duraco this morning from ESPN, who covers the Jaguars. Yeah. He did bring up an interesting point about Shenault. I've never really been enamored with him for fantasy, and I think it might be to his point, because he's the slot receiver, but he's not an ideal slot receiver.
Not quick. Yeah. Just big. Yeah. He's a big guy. Yeah. Thick.
He's kind of miscast here.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we can move on to the next game here on the docket. How about the injuries for the Indianapolis Colts? I mean, this is absolutely brutal, Adam. I don't know if, this is bad for week 4. It's like the whole team's on the injury report.
Yeah. Well, the ones that I would be concerned about would be, not that Jack Doyle means anything for fantasy, but he can block. Quentin Nelson's dealing with the same lingering injuries he's had. Kwity Paye got hurt last week with a hamstring. Braden Smith missed last week's game. Same injuries. Doesn't look good for this week. Leonard will most likely play. He worked some today. Rock Ya-Sin doesn't look good for him. Wentz will play. Jonathan Taylor will play. Glowinski should play the guard. They got a lot of guys hurt. Eric Fisher's fine. They've got some concerns. They do. They're not playing well. Miami, I think Miami's defense will do very well. I like Miami as actually not a streamer. Well, you could call them a streamer if they're in your league, but
yeah,
this is a good matchup for them. I would be very surprised if they don't do well this week. Yeah,
no, they were my favorite defense this year to target. They're like value pick. They are number 6 so far here through 3 games. I think
depends on your scoring though. Depends on your scoring.
Yeah, they've got a tutty. I know that. Greg, you have not seen a ton of tape here from these 2 teams thus far, or the last couple of weeks, Indy and Miami. Is that fair? Is that correct? I think you're muted here, Greg.
There you go.
You there? There you go.
Yeah. It should be good now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Miami, I've seen their defense all the time. I did not see Brissett.
Okay, so talk about the Miami defense. How are they playing right now? Because, they're doing okay for fantasy, but it does seem a little all over the place.